The point of taking a page, other than keeping my depression at bay, is to take a look into books, their adaptations, and any talking points pertaining to them that come out of my idiot skull. Like a sad one-man book club. But I wanted to keep a rule not to spoil or reveal endings.
He walked out of the hospital with his brother Michael, a pair of crutches, and the limp he'd have for the rest of his life.
That was different, that was Shark Month, and that movie ticked me off. It has been around for over 30 years now. With the new movie out, there's been talk of that scene. It's been in editorials, book reviews, articles. That scene is not in the new movie, but in the book, and has been the talking point when bringing up it. And I guess I'll be joining that talk for that scene. Breaking this video into 3 sections. What is the scene? Does it fit in the context of the story? And could it have been done better? So, in 1958, the Losers Club defeat it. Leaving its lair, the group gets lost, scared. They're falling apart. At this point, Beverly takes off her clothes and tells the 6 boys to have sex with her, one after another. Afterwards, the group was able to find their way out of the sewers, where they make a promise to come back to Derry to finish off it if it comes back. Okay then. To prepare for this video, I've read that scene a couple times to make absolutely sure I know what I'm talking about, and oh my god.
No!
I've read quite a bit of King's books, and I've noticed that sex in his books, while sometimes the most cringeworthy in the whole thing, they're supposed to offer some point to the story. A reveal of the cruelty of prison institutions, growing up from sexual trauma till it becomes the figurative and literal handcuffs of that person's life, or to open up a portal to an alternate universe New York City. King has talked about the sewer scene a couple years ago. I wasn't really thinking of the sexual aspect of it. The book dealt with childhood and adulthood, 1958 and grown-ups. The grown-ups don't remember their childhood. None of us remember what we did as children. We think we do, but we don't remember it as it really happened. The sexual act connected childhood and adulthood. Times have changed since I wrote that scene, and there is now more sensitivity to those issues. Let's break that down. But first, is the scene sexual like King said? It's kids having sex in the sewer, so yes, there's a sexual aspect to it. Compared to other sex scenes in the novel, most of the scene feels mechanical at some parts. We don't have detailed descriptions of all the boys taking their turn on her. And the scene will keep jumping to descriptions of birds, flying kites, reading comic books. But when it comes to Ben and Bill, the scene is very much more sexual from the point of view of the characters, and I need to take another shower.
No! No!
So the part of not remembering your childhood as you do, I agree with. Not just for my own personal childhood memories, but for King, who has effectively blocked out most of his memory seeing his friend killed by a train in front of him. There are some comments I found of people talking about how reading it as a kid, the scene wasn't much of a bother to them, until they got older with an adult point of view. They would talk about how, like the characters in the story, sex at 12 or 13 is mysterious, off-putting. Beverly thinks about this in the scene. Have you done it? What is it like? As for the times they are changing, what little reviews I could find of the time when the book was published, there isn't mention of this scene. I found people commenting in forums about reading the book 2-3 decades ago, and they very much felt off by the scene. What I think happened is with reviews, especially professional reviews, the focus is the work as a whole, but with the introduction of social media and the video essay vlog format, everyone has a voice. And at times, a certain scene will ruin an entire work for some people. Cormac McCarthy's The Road is the story of a father watching over his son, teaching him right in a world that isn't right. But I've read a couple books with characters mentioning the road, and all of them talk about is a small scene involving a baby. For many people, 1,000+ pages can be ruined by just 6. Which brings me to the next section. Does it fit in the context of the story? When I first read the book, I did not think so. But after reading the book a second time for this video,
Yeah, it kinda does.
It has many subplots and small stories within the book. Almost all of them, there is a constant progression of small instances growing into extreme conclusions. The school bully grows to be a killer. A racist city council wanted segregation turned into a mass murder and a cover-up. A standoff between some gangsters turns very rapidly into a massacre. A union dispute turns into an axe murder in a bar. In regards to the Losers Club showing their love for Beverly, to keep the group intact, there is a small scene in the middle of the book. The group decides to fill their clubhouse with smoke to gain visions about it. Ben reads it in one of his books. Bill wants Beverly to stay watch. Beverly keeps questioning him why, and it comes out to the fact that she's a girl. The other losers don't defend Beverly or Bill, they just stand around. Beverly threatens to leave, and the group is falling apart. Beverly has the idea.
Oh my god.
No, not that idea. She burns a match and closes the burnt end in her hand with 6 non-burnt matches. The goal being that whoever picks up the burnt match stays watch. Before everyone picks up a match, they say, "I love you, Beverly." It is filled with parallel storylines, and this scene is the best that explains the sewer scene, which brings us to the last part. Could the scene have been done better? Oh my god, of course. Have them hug in the sewers, have Eddie or Stan break down and everyone go over and express their love for them.
No! Nobody's doing that!
The fact that the author has to step in and explain the scene, that I had to reread the book to get any kind of subtle hint that really could have just been a fluke on my part as a fan trying to defend a weird, awkward scene. Yes, it could have been done way better. Yes, it shouldn't have been made in the first place. Yes, an editor should have went to King and go, no. But it's Stephen King. When he's good, he's good. He is weird. He is off-putting. Anything crazy he thinks of can be put to paper and still be entertaining.
Okay, for my 307th book, this couple is attacked by a lamp monster. Ooh!
And that sewer scene makes this the worst introduction to King's work, because if that scene wasn't in there, we'd probably be all talking about that, I'll just call it an interrogation scene in the Dark Tower. This is C.B. Smith, and thanks for taking a page.
So, I got punched in the face, right? And I walked in the sewers. And I went into a f***ing crack house. And now I gotta kill this f***ing elephant. Oh god, why would I think a wiffle ball bat would work?